it's Gianna Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest news and trends on crypto and blockchain technology. Together, we are building a crypto movement that fights for climate justice and economic empowerment. So today, we're actually going to take a little break from the news. I have a story to share with all of you. I know we keep talking about climate justice and economic empowerment, so I would like to share my story with you today about why I personally am fighting for climate justice and how that fits in with cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and an overall goal of economic empowerment. So my story starts in fourth grade. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was fortunate to learn about climate change at a very young age. My teacher, Miss Muser, walked into our classroom and she handed every single fourth grade student a piece of paper, black and white, that had a drawing of Earth on it. She then handed each student a pack of markers to use. And she told us, color these drawings of Earth. My favorite color is purple. I'm obsessed with purple. Like I almost colored the entire drawing purple oceans, purple land, everything. But I thought about it and I thought, the planet is beautiful the way it is with its sparkling blue waters, lush green trees. Let's do an accurate depiction of Earth. So I got the green marker, I got the blue marker, colored it all up. So we had all finished drawing and coloring our Earths, and we were all admiring each other's artwork. And then all of a sudden, Miss Muser gave each of us a pair of scissors, and she said, now cut them. And as fourth graders, we were all appalled. Like, we just have these beautiful colorings. Why would we ruin our Earths? But we all picked up our scissors, reluctantly started cutting our Earths into pieces. And then after we were finished with that and put our scissors down, Miss Muser told us this. This is what humans are doing to our planet. Humans are putting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. There is a solution to that. You can be the solution. Every time you do something good for the planet, we could get our puzzle piece now, because our drawings are all a puzzle, and just start taping it together. And she said, I will be gone probably by the time that climate change gets worse, or global warming gets worse, we called it back then. But she said, what will you tell your children and grandchildren if you did nothing about it? That really hit me to this day. That day when I got home from school, I told my parents to go to the store with me to get more sustainable light bulbs. Back then they were CFL light bulbs. Those are the most efficient. I called them the curly fry light bulbs. So we did that. And I also installed the aerator that I got from class. It was a little installment that you could put on your water faucet. So yeah, that really stuck with me. I ended up going to the University of California, Irvine, to study Earth System Science. By the time I graduated from undergrad, at first I thought I wanted to become a professor, and I really enjoyed teaching people about climate, and I wanted everyone to become part of this, I guess, movement with me to piece the world back together, as Miss Muser had taught me back in fourth grade. And I almost moved to Hawaii to start a PhD in atmospheric sciences, but I decided to go to Columbia. It was a one-year intensive master's program, and just learn about all the intricacies of climate change. I had about 6 months in my master's program in person. We were learning about climate models. I was actually also working as a graduate student researcher at NASA, studying drought there. But once the pandemic happened, so many students ended up doing Zoom University. And I ended up going back to my parents in California. I ended up graduating during the pandemic, going back to New York around July 2020. And what really, really hit me was when a few weeks later, after I left my family in California, the West Coast wildfires happened. And I remember that morning, my mom texted me a picture of the sky. It was bright orange. It was horrendous. And I saw pictures that my friends were sharing me from back home of just ashes on their cars in the San Francisco area. And that was my home. That was where I grew up. And this was one of the worst wildfire seasons ever. And I thought, this is going to get so much worse if climate change keeps getting worse. These are record high temperatures. And I also felt a sense of guilt, I guess. I had the privilege, I guess, to escape the worst of New York during the peak of the pandemic. I didn't even know. I just had really good timing. I had the privilege to not even experience these wildfires. I had some friends back in California. They had to evacuate their homes. I mean, I had led protests for climate change, for climate justice. And I had talked about how low income communities and especially communities of color would be the first to feel the impacts of climate change. And there are countries and people right now who are already experiencing sea level rise, more intense, more frequent hurricanes and other impacts. But once it's your home, once you really see what could happen and what is happening to the people you care about, you really realize that we are all vulnerable to this issue of climate change. But people who are more privileged, the rich, will always have a way to endure less of the impacts. They will be able to flee areas where their homes are no longer habitable. During the pandemic, I mean, this is the difference between, say, the Hamptons versus Harlem. People weren't able to leave if they did not have the money to leave during the pandemic. And this is going to happen more and more frequently with climate change. People were not able to evacuate if they did not have the means to evacuate during Hurricane Katrina. And I'm worried. I'm worried with this wealth gap. There's also going to be this gap in safety in general for people. To become more resilient to climate change, we really need to empower people economically. Say, if you need to flee your home because of some kind of climate impact, wouldn't it be amazing if all of your records were not destroyed by some kind of disaster, if they were all stored on a secure blockchain? Wouldn't it be phenomenal if, say, you lost your home and you had to go to the hospital and so many people in your community were hurt that they could pull up all of your medical records from a secure blockchain? People don't realize that when you are investing in cryptocurrency, you are actually investing in a blockchain company. These companies that have utility to hold medical records, to store information on education. There's just so much that is growing in this field. And I think people see blockchain right now or crypto as just an asset to invest in and maybe to get rich off of. But think about all the people in developing countries who don't even have banks yet. They don't even have economic identity. And by investing in these companies, in these blockchain technologies with utility, we can mitigate the vulnerabilities of climate change that are so interconnected by poverty, by a lack of transparency, by lost records with the blockchain. And that's why I'm in it right now. I'm in it for climate justice. I'm in this for economic empowerment. And I want to live in a world where everybody is proud of the country, of the place where they came from, that they live in a situation where their identity is secure, where their finances are secure. And no matter where you move in the world, whether it be by choice or I hope this never happens to you, but or if you're forced to move, that your assets, your information stays secure with you. So that's my story. That's it for today. I would like to start a series with all of you. If you would like to share your story, why you are in crypto or why you care about climate justice and economic empowerment. We are building a movement right now to get people into crypto to support these causes. And if you're watching and if you watch this far, I would love for you to join in on this too. Well, that's it for me today. We'll have the news again very soon, but thank you so much for listening and for watching. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. And yeah, let me know if there's other stories or other topics you would like covered later on. See you next time, everyone. Bye.